Marvel is the biggest movie empire on Earth. Billions of dollars, endless franchises, cultural domination. But in the 1990s, Marvel was dying. Not struggling, dying. The company was collapsing financially. Studios did not trust comic book movies anymore. Audiences associated superheroes with rubber suits, bad jokes, and box office disasters. Then a violent vampire movie arrived and changed everything. A movie so influential that modern superhero cinema might not exist without it. Its name was Blade, and its star was Wesley Snipes. For a moment, he looked unstoppable. Then Hollywood turned on him. The franchise collapsed. His reputation exploded. The stories became legendary. The jokes became brutal. And while Marvel rose into the most powerful force in entertainment history, the man who helped save it disappeared before the victory lap even began. This is the story of Wesley Snipes, the action star who helped build modern Marvel, then became the ghost of its success. Today, it is difficult to explain just how weak superhero movies looked in the 1990s. Modern audiences grow up inside the Marvel era. Superhero films dominate everything now. But back then, comic book movies were dangerous investments. After Batman and Robin became a cultural punchline, studios panicked. The bright costumes looked ridiculous. The jokes felt childish, and audiences were losing interest fast. At the same time, Marvel Entertainment was collapsing under financial pressure. In 1996, Marvel filed for bankruptcy. That sounds impossible today, but at the time, there was no cinematic universe, no billion-dollar machine, no guaranteed success. Marvel was selling off character rights simply to survive. Nobody believed comic book movies were the future. Then Wesley Snipes entered the conversation. By the early 1990s, Wesley Snipes was already becoming one of Hollywood's most electric stars. Not because he looked invincible, because he felt dangerous. There was speed in the way he moved, precision in the way he fought, confidence in the way he spoke. He was believable. Films like New Jack City turned him into a phenomenon. Then came Passenger 57, then Demolition Man, then White Men Can't Jump. Very few actors could switch between menace, charisma, comedy, and martial arts the way Snipes could. Hollywood had action stars. But Wesley Snipes felt different. He felt cool before Hollywood fully understood cool. And behind the scenes, he had a dream project. Black Panther. Years before the Marvel Cinematic Universe existed, Wesley Snipes wanted to bring Black Panther to the big screen. But technology was not ready. Studios were hesitant. The project stalled. So instead, another Marvel character entered development. A half-vampire, vampire hunter named Blade. Most people did not know who Blade was. That would change very quickly. In 1998, Blade arrived in theaters. And from the opening minutes, audiences knew this was different. A nightclub, techno music, blood raining from sprinklers, bodies collapsing everywhere. Then Wesley Snipes appears. Black leather, sunglasses, sword. The room explodes into violence. It was not campy. It was not childish. It was not embarrassed to be aggressive. Blade looked modern years before modern superhero movies existed, and audiences loved it. The movie earned strong box office numbers. Critics respected its style. Fans became obsessed with its atmosphere. But the most important thing was happening quietly behind the scenes. Hollywood executives were paying attention because Blade proved something incredibly important. Comic book movies could work for adults. That lesson changed the industry forever. Without Blade, there might not be X-Men. Without Blade, maybe Spider-Man never receives the same confidence from studios. Without Blade, the road toward the MCU becomes much harder. And yet when people discuss Marvel history today, Blade is often treated like a side note. Even though it helped create the future everyone profits from now, the role transformed Snipes into something larger than an actor. He became iconic because Blade did not feel like a performance. It felt like identity. The martial arts were real. The physicality was believable. The confidence felt effortless. Wesley Snipes was not pretending to be dangerous. Audiences believed he actually was dangerous. And in the early 2000s, Blade looked like the future of superhero cinema, especially after Blade 2, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Blade 2 became darker, stranger, and visually unforgettable. Today, many fans still consider it one of the greatest comic book sequels ever made. Marvel still did not dominate Hollywood yet, but the foundation was forming, and Wesley Snipes stood near the center of it. Then everything started going wrong. Production on Blade, Trinity became infamous almost immediately. At first, the film looked like another major success. But behind the scenes, tension was growing everywhere. Reports from the production described conflict between Wesley Snipes and director David Goyer. Crew members later described an atmosphere of exhaustion and frustration. Then the rumors became unbelievable. Stories spread claiming Snipes stayed in character constantly, that he communicated through sticky notes signed only with the word Blade, that he refused certain scenes, that the production became nearly impossible to manage. Over time, these stories exploded across Hollywood, and that is important, because in Hollywood, perception becomes reality very quickly. The internet turned the stories into comedy. Snipes became the punchline, not the pioneer, not the man who helped redefine comic book films, the difficult star, the unstable celebrity, the actor everybody mocked. Meanwhile, another actor quietly benefited from the chaos, Ryan Reynolds. Blade Trinity introduced many audiences to Reynolds' fast-talking style years before Deadpool made him globally untouchable. The franchise was moving forward, but Wesley Snipes suddenly looked stuck in place. And then came the collapse nobody could spin away. In the late 2000s, Wesley Snipes became involved in bizarre anti-tax theories pushed by financial advisors around him. The situation escalated into a federal case. News coverage became relentless. Headlines replaced his career with scandal. Eventually, Snipes was convicted on misdemeanor tax charges and sentenced to prison time. And suddenly, the image was complete. Hollywood had already begun distancing itself from him after Blade Trinity. Now the public saw him as damaged, finished, another fallen celebrity. But what makes this story fascinating is that the timing could not have been worse. Because while Wesley Snipes disappeared from the center of Hollywood, Marvel was beginning its takeover. In 2008, Iron Man changed everything. Then came the Avengers. Then came global domination. Suddenly, superhero movies were no longer risky. They became the safest investment in entertainment. Marvel transformed into the most powerful franchise machine in Hollywood history. And the strangest part of all? The DNA of Blade was everywhere. Dark action, stylized combat, serious tone, adult audiences, comic book cinema treated with confidence instead of embarrassment. Blade helped prove all of that could work. But by the time Marvel became unstoppable, Wesley Snipes was largely absent from the celebration. The man who helped open the door was no longer invited into the building. That is the tragedy at the center of this story. Not that Wesley Snipes was perfect. He was not. Not that Hollywood invented every controversy. It did not. The tragedy is that one of the most important pioneers of modern superhero cinema became easier to joke about than remember. Something interesting happened over time. People started revisiting Blade, and younger audiences noticed something. The movie still worked. The action still hit. The style still felt confident. The performance still felt iconic. In an era overloaded with green screen spectacle, Blade suddenly felt sharp again, practical, focused, cool, and slowly. Wesley Snipes started returning to the conversation, not as a scandal, as a legend, a complicated legend, but a legend nonetheless. Because history has a strange habit of correcting itself eventually. even if Hollywood does not. Before the billion-dollar empire, before the cinematic universe, before superheroes became Hollywood's safest bet, there was Blade, and there was Wesley Snipes, a star with real presence, real danger, real influence, the man who helped prove Marvel movies could survive. Then watch the empire grow without him. Hollywood loves celebrating winners, but it often forgets the people who made winning possible in the first place. And maybe that is why Wesley Snipes still matters. Because long before Marvel conquered the world, he walked into a blood-soaked nightclub wearing sunglasses and changed superhero movies forever. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more forgotten Hollywood collapses, industry secrets, and the stories behind the biggest names in entertainment.